Man, as we gather here for another Grabbing the Brisket podcast, man, we just get getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Man.
And then there were two.
And then there were two.
I love it, man.
Yeah, 5-man enter. Whatever the saying.
2 men on a podcast leave. Yeah, that's some Thunderdome shit for you right there.
Exactly, yeah. Trademark that shit.
Yeah, Tina Turner. That was a great movie, man.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
Yeah. It's sorry, that's my phone going off here on the text messages. Popular guy today. Yeah, man. I mean, out of the group, we've got one on the railroad, can't get off. We've got Matt doing Matt things. John's doing John things.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know if John necessarily said, but I think he's doing flight school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's Top Gun.
Right,
Top Gun
exactly.
school.
Pretty much. So, like, he's like the F-22.
Yeah. He's on a beach right now. He's throwing a football. He's trying to get the team members together. You know, they turn it into like, I don't know. I'm trying to think. What was the scene?
Singing Great Balls of Fire.
Singing Great Balls of Fire on a thing. He's got to tap somebody on the shoulder. You know, what's that? What's the line, James? Excuse me. Is this guy bothering you? Or
right,
whatever.
Exactly. But who's his wingman? Who's his goose?
Oh, we don't know that guy. He works for him.
Right?
He works for him. He's got a little mustache. You know what I mean? He's
Very
tanning.
like whimsical. Right?
Yeah, very whimsical, very light. You could put some milk on it and a cat could lick it off. Perfect, you know. No, I think you're right. I think John is living his best life right now. And he's like running around with the football in his hands. Tackle me. You know, and you're like, whoa, John. it's not tackle me on the football, bro. You got to throw it.
Yeah.
You know?
John edits this, or when he gets the edited version, he's like, he's going to send another text out to the group. It's like, damn it,
Yeah.
Jan.
Well, you told me keep myself under control, right? Mm-hmm. I'm always under control.
Hey, this is sober Jan here.
You're getting sober Jan, right? This doesn't happen very much. I can count today. So I did make some off-color remarks last week, but those are just remarks, right? And I'm just having fun with it, and I think that you got to have fun with this. Like, what are we doing, you know? But I think we have a really good show in store for you today. And we are talking, well, we're going to go into this, but I'm just going to give you a little topic or whatever.
Yeah.
We're going to go into backyard barbecue, backyard brisket. And, you know, I think a lot of creativity comes from the backyard. Mm-hmm. And people think backyard cookers, I think that's a stigma. Oh, they're a backyard cooker. They're not a professional. Well, nobody's a freaking professional. You know what I mean? Like, well, I mean, I guess people that get paid, they're professionals. And
right.
You work in a kitchen, you're a professional chef or whatever. You went to culinary school. I get all that. I'm just saying, backyard guys, they're just as good.
Doesn't diminish your capabilities whatsoever.
No.
I've seen plenty of people go out there and compete in their first competition ever, just doing their backyard stuff and just grand champion.
Like,
and,
this is so easy. I don't know what the problem is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I think that's the mentality everybody has to have when it comes to this. Now, maybe you don't know the rules and the turn-in times and all the different methods and whatever else, but the food, the backyard cook, he's pressing the envelope. He's putting bologna, right? And he's making like who knows, a bologna water, and he's spritzing that on his brisket.
Right.
You know, I don't know. I don't know what these guys are doing, right?
It's something that you always like think in the back of your mind. When we started off doing competition, just cooking the backyard, like, we don't know. We didn't take classes. We didn't go and just pay the $1,000 or $2,000 to learn all the secrets at once. And so we're in the backyard, just like scientists, just like, what could we do?
Yeah.
Hey, what if we took last week's brisket cook in that au jus, and then we injected it into this week's brisket cook?
That's right.
Now the inside's already flavored.
That's right.
Money.
Money.
Genius.
It's a genius way of cooking. Nobody's even doing it. Nobody even talks about that.
I'm not saying we were doing that. We're not condoning that.
We have done it, though.
We have. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But who else has taken last week's brisket au jus and then basically warmed it up just a little bit and then just threaded that needle? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I can tell you for certain that we're going to give you some really good tips, but we're also going to tell you some stuff to stay away from.
Yeah.
There's a lot of just self-proclaimed like experts that try to teach you how to do stupid stuff, try to teach you how to do these tricks that like the injecting your brisket with tallow. Like I don't, you know what I mean? The use of tallow in the barbecue world and the more specifically cooking brisket is it's bizarre to me. Like,
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? It's like, and they're taking their trimmings and they're cooking it next to
The brisket.
and so it's soaking up all the smoke and you're getting majority just fat, rendering tallow. There's some probably au jus from because they don't trim up all the meat or whatever, and that just gets dumped all into your brisket. You know what I mean?
The wrap.
The wrap.
You have a greasy wrap.
Yeah, I was like, why don't you just leave all that stuff on and then?
It would do the same thing. It would have rendered.
Yeah.
And you've got some seasoned flavored tallow.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which is what everybody likes.
Yeah, yeah. And again, we'll get into this a little bit later on. I know we got a lot to get to in a short time to get there. I think that's a Smoking the Bandit reference there. But
no, that is Smoking the Bandit. You should have kept it. You shouldn't have said anything.
God dang it.
You ruined it.
I ruined everything. I saw a couple of really cool articles, and it was not really cool when you really think about the idea, the concept of this happening here locally in Pearland.
Okay.
And I'm not really sure where, and I think this is getting shot down, but I think it's still in the voting process. But there's a laboratory that's working on a contract to house like a 5,000 square foot facility in Brazil.
500,000 square foot facility?
No, 5,000. A large facility. I'm not really sure on the square footage or whatever, but large. No, it's 500 acres is what they're trying to build on.
Okay.
So 500 acres. They're trying to bring in and house over 43,000 monkeys to do experiments.
Outbreak?
Exactly.
Outbreak?
Yeah, they're testing on the animals.
In Pearland?
They're I don't know what it's just laboratory research.
Haven't we learned from Wuhan? Haven't we learned from Dustin Hoffman's, was he Dustin Hoffman?
Yeah, Outbreak.
An Outbreak?
Morgan Freeman.
Yeah. They had to find the damn monkey and capture it.
Yeah, can you imagine that? Just in your backyard, just chilling, all of a sudden a monkey just falls out of the tree.
Yeah, I don't want that. I don't want little Skim or whatever his name is, right? Chim. I don't want Chim or Skim. Yeah. Run over there and rip somebody's fucking face off. He's got, the strength of 15 human men. Right.
You know? Let's load this monkey up with insane amount of just testosterone and just see what happens.
Yeah, right. Oh, you broke through the bars. He killed 3 yards. Yeah, you think 500 acres is a lot? Not for that monkey. He went right through that 500 acres in a matter of minutes. Then he just jumps in the middle of school.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so. We don't want Chim running around with some funky ass disease. Basically, you touch you and you shit just falls off or something. I don't know.
Yeah. So the premise was it was going to bring a shit ton of jobs here locally in this area, and I think it was passed originally, not really knowing what they were going to be doing there. It was just a research facility, laboratory type deal that was going to bring thousands of jobs here in this area, which is fantastic. But the trade-off is that you have to deal with probably infected animals. And look, I understand the importance of doing research for science and medical reasons. And
That's why you do it in third world countries, James. Okay,
like Wuhan.
Like Wuhan, you do it there. You don't do it here. No, I'm just kidding about that. Kind of. No, I think COVID's brought us, all these movies that were movies, and everybody's like, dang, man. And then all of a sudden it happens. You're like, wait, that's a little too home. It hits a little too home for us, right?
Right.
I think everybody's starting to wake up a little bit. You know what I mean? They're like, wait a minute, what kind of research you doing? Oh, we're going to bring in 43,000 monkeys. No, you're not. Not here, you're not.
I can't imagine. Just the sheer volume of monkeys. Like, what are you doing? That right there, I'm doing the math, and I think, in my mind, you're already factoring in losses. So we have to start with a big volume because we already know we're going to lose a bunch. And then we got to have some to keep breeding. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know, man. So they're reevaluating it. We don't have this going through yet.
I think they revoted, and I think they shot it down. Brazoria County, I think they revoted, and then here locally, we got together and said, probably not a good idea.
You're like, take that shit over to Harris County. Right. We're in Brazoria County. Harris County do whatever it wants. There's the state. There's a county line right there. We don't care what you do on that side of the fence.
Right. Exactly.
I love it. No, it's cool, man. No, I didn't hear that. It's that's wild.
They're going to do experiments. There's that one famous experiment where they experimented on these monkeys, and then they had them in a room, and then they set up a ladder in the middle of the room, and they put a banana at the very top of this ladder, and the monkey got brave enough to climb the ladder to go get the banana. As soon as he touched the banana, a fire hose went off and sprayed all the other monkeys in the room. Like, there's probably, we'll say 6 monkeys. 5 of them just got hosed down like crazy. And I don't know how many times this happened, But as soon as the monkey started going up the stairs, the other monkeys would just kick the crap out of him. And so they started just cycling out these monkeys one by one, introducing a new monkey. And the new monkeys is one that he would go up the ladder and he would get the crap beat out of him because he wanted that banana. And then they'd cycle them out. And then pretty soon they got to where there were no monkeys in there that originally got hosed.
So none of the monkeys had ever been sprayed.
Never knew. But they, as soon as that one monkey got in there and went for that banana, they just kicked the crap out of him. And they had no idea why.
You don't, dude. They don't know why. There's, this is us, man. We're human beings. This is monkeys. It's conditioning.
100%.
Yeah, the monkey was conditioned. Like, no, somebody climbs that ladder, we kick the shit out of them. We don't care. We don't know why we do it. They ran a sociology. I don't know what you would call that. They ran an experiment where every time, waiting for an interview or a doctor's, whatever it was, every time the bell went off, everybody in the room would stand up. Well, they bring a new guy in. The same thing you just said. Like one person started because they were in on it. They would just stand up when the bell went off, and then when the bell, whatever, they wait, whatever the bell would go off, they would sit back down. They go back about their business. Well, sooner or later, the room was full of people who didn't know why they were standing up. However, when they'd walk in and the bell would go off, the entire room would stand up. These people didn't know, and one guy they introduced would just look around, and all of a sudden they would stand up, and then they would sit down, and the bell would go off. They'd all stand up, then they'd sit down, and it's like, why are you? Nobody could tell them why they're doing it. They just said, well, everybody else is doing it.
Right.
That's why we're doing it. That's sad.
Social experiments.
It's very sad. The government's been doing this for years.
So the mayor came out and made a comment about that. He says, we welcome business, but a farm that raises monkey for the sole purposes of inject them and use them to study, I don't know if we want to be known for that.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's go, Kevin.
Yeah.
That's Kevin, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many bananas can a monkey eat before he dies? I don't know.
Let's see.
Right.
Eat your monkey, Chim Chim. That's horrible.
It's terrible.
It's a terrible way to live.
We're not laughing at that.
No, we're not. We don't want them to be living in cages and get away and be nuclear, whatever, and touch people and infect people. And we got some Ebola breakout and everybody's dying. Yeah. And it all started here because they track it all back to Brazoria County, Pearland. I don't think so, man. No. Take that shit to Ohio where they have radioactive trains and shit and plumes of crap in the sky still, and the whole area is infected. Take that stuff there.
It's all good.
There it is. Take it to the Midwest.
Speaking of animal in cages, I also came across another article talking about the amount. This is why Texas is just Texas, right? The biggest and baddest state in the world. They house, and this is I pulled up an article trying to fact check this, and I think I heard, might have been on the Rogan show or whatever, talking about how Texas houses more tigers than there are in the rest of the world.
I think I've read that somewhere.
There's more tigers inhabited in cages here in Texas than there is in the rest of the world.
Yeah, combined.
Yeah.
That's crazy, right?
That is insane to think about that. I think they said it's over about 3,000 to 4,000 tigers.
Or here
in Texas.
Any of them pets?
Backyard pets.
Dude, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, if you're at home right now and you're listening to this and you got a tiger in the backyard, we need to be friends. Right. I want to come out. I want to throw it like a beef shank or something and see what it does.
Right. Just a beef shank.
Yeah.
I saw that
and a ball of yarn.
Right. I saw that one video. This guy had like literally a beef shank or some big hunk of meat, and this captive tiger just comes up to the fence and just stares at him, and he's like, heaves it as hard as he could, and it sailed over the tiger or the lion, and it hit behind him, and that tiger didn't even budge an inch. He's like, nah, I want you.
Yeah, I want you.
Exactly.
You smell good. Yeah.
So I don't know if it's true or not, but I know at one point in time in our buddy Zine living in Alvin, and there's still maybe an animal rescue, not preserve or reserve. What do they call that? Where they bring in these rescued type animals and they deal with these game type.
Yeah.
I call it game, but they deal with these game type animals where there's lions, there's tigers. And we're in his backyard one year and just hanging out, drinking a couple of beers, and you can hear the roars. Like,
yeah.
And you're like, what the hell is that? Oh, my neighbor over there's got a
tiger in the backyard.
Exactly.
Like, what? We go out there and shoot our shotguns out there and rile them all up and shit. We hit golf balls over there too.
Shit.
We walk over there too, but you couldn't get too close and see him walking through because you could see the cage.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. But we'd always like shoot the shotgun, and when the guns go off, the tigers go roar. They get moving around. You know, they don't know what's going on. So that was always a.
Yeah. Do you think those tigers? Do you think you condition them with like these Titleist golf balls, like when you shoot them over there?
Yeah, I hate golfers.
Yeah.
As soon as they get out, they just tear up golf courses.
It's got a logo on there. The handler comes out there and
Yeah.
feed them. It's got like a
Callaway.
Callaway brand or a Ping or something like that. And there's like, oh.
Yeah, probably sets him off.
Yeah. Zine did talk about one time where he was dating this girl in Alvin, and I went over to his house after school to study.
Yeah.
And she's like, I got to go change. Sit down on the couch right there. And as I'm saying that, it sounds like one of those like Predator invites where like, hey, no, come on in. I got to go change upstairs.
Yeah, just catch a predator.
To catch a predator.
Yeah, right. Hey, there's snacks on the kitchen table. I'll be right back. I'm going to put something on more comfortable.
Right,
I love Chris
down-
Hansen's
Yeah,
fucking
exactly.
stuff, dude.
Put down your 6
great.
packs of Zimas and your box of condoms.
Yeah. No, I was coming over to watch a movie. I just didn't think you felt safe.
Right, exactly.
Oh, man.
So
Come on.
Zine gets there and he's like, puts his book back down, sits on the couch, and all of a sudden he sees a black shadow just come out of the corner of his eyes, and it was zooming. It was like he really didn't catch what it was, and he's just sitting there humming around, and all of a sudden this big black cat jumps onto the back of this couch, and it was a damn Black Panther. Like it was still cub, but this thing was probably still about the size of maybe a full-grown
Like dog. Yeah.
Yeah. And it like did the whole growl hiss at him. He's like, nope, I'm out of here. Book bag and out. I was like, damn. Might have been the same people.
So that's a real statistic. Did you know that? So 3,900 tigers remain in the wild. Anywhere from 2,000 to 5,000 tigers live in Texas, with only 50 of them being registered.
That's right.
They said there's, a lot not
A
registered.
lot of lions, baby.
Yeah. I did
A
see
lot of
where
tigers.
Rogan was trying to convince Kevin James he's like, bro, you need to move to Texas. He's like, there's no regulations here in Texas. You just do whatever you want. He's like, you want to own a giraffe? You can have a giraffe. It's like, it's not. And you see Kevin James' wheels just turning. It's like, yeah, I should move to Austin. I should move to Texas. He's
Yeah.
like, hell yeah, brother. Let's go. So,
That's funny. We probably should move to Texas. Just don't mess it up when you come. Just there's a reason why you move here, right? And there's things that you like about it. Enjoy those things. Don't like get here and like, we don't like those things, and then try to change it because let's go back to where you came from. It was already done that way there.
yeah. Stop bringing your stupid tri-tips down here.
No, we like tri-tips.
No, we do.
We just don't
We
like the
like-
price of the price we're paying right now.
Dude.
It's ridiculous.
Almost like $10, $12 a pound for tri-tip, which is
It's horrible.
terrible. Like you can't even. I'm passing it by.
I'm not
I
even
see
looking at it.
I'm like, you look beautiful, you look good. I want to cook you, but I'm not paying $50 for the tri-tip. I'm sorry, HEB.
This is what backyard cooks do, though, right? So there's a reason why these tri-tips are gone crazy, right? And it's because of all these backyard cooks out there. People understand how to cook it, and they go, "Man, we're going to try to cook this," and we like it, and it's a good flavor. It's very lean. It's leaner than a ribeye, or leaner than other pieces of meat, right? It doesn't have a lot of marbling, but when cooked properly, it's phenomenal. And
Yeah.
I think that's how the backyard cook has influenced. That's how barbecue has changed. The biggest thing is that there's more backyard cooks doing it nowadays. And with that, you've got social media. It's a whole game changer when you've got YouTube, which I always go back to YouTube because it's like the OG when it comes to tell you how to do anything.
Right.
And you don't have to listen about it or read about it, which people have a hard time doing. They can watch it, and people learn by watching, and they're able to say, I can do that. Mm-hmm. And now Franklin pumps out, 140 briskets a day, 70 cows. 70 cows. That's what we're talking about at one restaurant, okay? The backyard cook in Texas, how many think people cooking brisket in Texas in the summer and springtime, in the fall time, in the wintertime? It doesn't stop.
Yeah.
Like we're grilling and chilling year a freaking round around here, and guess what? That just makes the demand even go higher. Higher prices for beef. I mean, I'm telling you right now, if Texas were out of the beef game and stop ordering it and stop whatever, it would change the whole market, whole landscape of it.
Yeah. Well, this whole wildfire shit is really kind of it's going to affect the cattle prices and
Yeah, no, I know.
I mean, it's really just tearing up Texas and all the land of these, and they have to relocate cattle. They have to move these farms. I think the 4 Sixes Ranch was affected as
It's a Yellowstone show, man. They're moving all their shit up to Montana now. I know what's happening.
Right. Kevin Costner just pulls up at his Dodge. He's like,
Yeah.
get him, Rip.
Rip,
Load him up.
load them up. You're moving to Texas. You're moving to Wyoming.
Jamie, you're staying here.
Yeah. Right.
Piece of crap.
Yeah, damn it, dude.
Yeah.
That's funny. No, I think you're right. But I think that all of backyard barbecue has changed over the last like 10 years. But the explosion of barbecue on Netflix, all those shows and series that people love to watch, like that has changed the landscape. And that's what I think makes the backyard cook the best cook in my opinion, because they're pushing the envelope. They're trying things that the normal conservative guy on the comp trail is. There's a lot of similarity behind all of these guys, right? Mm-hmm. And the backyard cook is taking a lot of traditional ways they've learned how to grow up cooking, and they're marrying that with what they see on YouTube and other social medias and whatever else, and they're ordering all the different spices in from all around the nation and the world, and they're making badass food under no timetable. It's the best cook in the world. Hey, I want to make dinner tonight. I'm doing barbecue. Sounds great. Yeah. When's it going to be ready? It'll be ready when the meat's done. Do the sides then. Hey, 11 o'clock at night, everybody's still hungry because that freaking brisket's still on, and we ain't pulling it till it's ready. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I mean, it's the perfect brisket. You get the perfect, you're doing one brisket. You're not doing a commercial. You're not doing 25 of them. You're doing one. And you get to make the best damn one you can.
Yeah. You're serving it to some of the most critical judges ever.
Your family.
Your family.
Yeah. So, I mean, speaking of that, so this last weekend, Sunday, we got together and we, it was a day for us, man, I think, just kind of remembering a little bit. It looked kind of a hard day, to be honest with you, but especially with losing mom and everything. But I will say this, we both did the same exact thing, which was odd. I had already had this planned. I was going to cook a brisket that day, and then you already had one on. I'm like, hey, I got to go to the store. I'm picking up a brisket. You're like, okay, yeah, I just threw one on. I'm like, this guy, dude.
Right.
Like you never fail, right? You just.
It was ready to go. Let's go.
It was ready to go, and I think I was a little. I'm never nervous about cooking a brisket. I always want the brisket to be the best damn thing I can make, right? We kind of ran into a problem, and what we did is we adapted, we overcame, right? And I don't know if you've ever had this happen out there, and maybe you have, and hopefully somebody can relate to this. But the brisket we put on after about 5.5 hours, 6 hours that it had been on the pit. Because I bought a small brisket, and I trimmed it down. It was perfectly shaped, but it was never a big brisket to begin with, and I just didn't want to cook a 20-pound brisket on a Sunday. So it was done. It was like almost done. It was like 95% done.
Correct.
It needed the last 5%.
Hadn't even had a chance to wrap it.
Hadn't even wrapped. We were just sitting open on the pit, and went to go probe it. It was 201 part of the brisket, 196 in another part of the brisket, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Had great color. Mm-hmm. I will talk about this in a minute too. A pro tip. I think people got to do this, but I don't want to give away too much just right now. But brisket was amazing.
Yeah,
brisket
we'll get into
was
it.
amazing.
But we'll talk about how we did it.
We'll
get into the backyard cooking of a brisket and
Yeah.
just kind of our just. I'm not going to say pro tips or anything like that. It's just how we do it, and hopefully you can take some of that information and practice it and put it towards how you do it. Love to be able to hear from you guys out there and gals. Just to write in, call in, let us know how you are doing your briskets. Because shit, we're always trying to learn ourselves. You know what I mean? There's probably something out there you guys are doing that you can teach all of us.
No, 100%. And yeah, the barbecue win, the barbecue fails. I think that's how we're all learning as a group. And I think seeing, you can't always show, nobody makes a mistake. That was the best brisket. I did this. And you're like, come on, man. Like, what does it even taste like? Didn't look like you put enough seasoning on that. I watch these videos sometimes. And I'm like, Nope, that's not going to be good. Nope. Right. Every once in a while, I'll see something and it catches my eye. I'm like, yes. That just the appearance alone gives me a certain look. But even then, you don't know what the flavor is going to be like or anything else.
Correct.
Nobody wants too much salt. Nobody wants whatever. But yes, I would definitely want to get into this, and I think there's a lot to be shared. What else do you got for us today?
I think we're going to slide into the barbecue news.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. I think John did help us out a little bit with this. James.
He did. Yeah. Usually John has an intro, but you know what? John's not here, so
You can do whatever you want, John.
yeah, exactly. Hey, cheers, Jan.
Let's go. Hey, you want cheers and meal thing? Boom.
All right.
Cheers.
Let's jump into the barbecue news.
Okay.
Sorry for the pause there. Let me go ahead and queue up. Okay, first up. So we have the first inaugural Smoke Slam Barbecue Festival that is set to take place May 16th to the 18th. This is the Tom Lee Park. This is the competition. This is a competition that is going heads up with the Memphis in May. Correct? Am I correct in saying that?
You are.
Okay. This is an exciting competition. Will feature 59 teams battling it out across 3 mouth-watering categories. We got whole hog, pulled pork, ribs. I got a total of a tally of 33 teams that are in the whole hog competition. You got 46 in the pulled pork, and you got 56 ribs, 56 in the rib competition. So it's going to be a battle for sure. And I know we had a little flyer for that. No, I'm lying to you. That we had a different flyer for something else. In addition to that, Melissa Cookston, she's has the I guess it's the inaugural Cookston's World Junior Barbecue League that she has created, unveiling a youth competition within the Smoke Slam Festival with a whopping $25,000 in prizes. So it's going to be featuring young chefs ages 14 to 18 that are currently enrolled in high school are eligible, provided they are members of the WJBL. So that is pretty cool. And they're also offering, I guess, opportunities for these kids to go and learn about these proteins that they're going to be cooking: the chicken thighs, the pork butt, the pork ribs, and the brisket flat. So yeah, that's pretty badass,
Dude, that is awesome. That is awesome. I don't $25,000 in prize money. I'm gonna get my kiddo out there. Hey, here's the secrets. Right? I mean, start practicing every single day.
Like, I'm not really sure what the top prize is, but I can just imagine that kid winning that, and the parents could be like, "Nah, that's going towards college."
Yeah, no.
That's going into this bank account. No, it's yours. It's yours.
That's what they say, right?
Then they got a new boat.
Yeah, and they spend it on rent. You know what I mean? Hey, well, what do you think, is rent's for free or something? We got to pay the bills around here.
Mom, can I just invest in a couple of drum smokers so I can continue with my barbecue journey?
No, we don't have time for that. No,
Not doing it.
that's funny.
There was also news from Kale over at the Barbecue News magazine. I guess the Sauces of Honor competition is heating up this year, and he's introducing a brand new category, and it's the overall category. So this overall category is contingent on you entering all 4 categories of the sauce competition.
Okay.
And then there's going to be a tally accumulating numbers all 4 sauces, and the highest combined score is going to be the best.
Yeah, a true test for the sauce masters among us.
Correct.
Come on, man. Come on, Kel. Quit coming up with cool shit to do.
Right.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I love that. What else you got?
We got the Houston Barbecue Festival. That's coming up here Sunday, April the 14th. I got the flyer. I think, we got the flyer up here posted right here. But, to jump now. Take advantage because they have limited spots available. And they're offering the regular pre-sale tickets, or you can get into the VIP tickets as well. The VIP tickets, they're going to get you entry 1 hour before everybody else gets in. So you get first dibs on each line of the baddest of the bad barbecue that this area has to offer. Also, you get a free drink, and also you get unlimited samples. So I guess the regular entry, you get 1 sample from each.
Oh, you're like VIP. You're like, I'll take another sample.
Yeah. You're just more.
Yeah.
Just more.
Another drink too. All right.
I'm just going to sit right here. Can you bring me a beer?
Yeah, right.
So yeah, that's on deck. And we got the flyer. If you're listening if you're watching the YouTube channel, you can see the flyer there. It's got a QR code that you can scan, or just go out to the Houston Barbecue Festival. And this was where was this being housed at? I think this is the Humble Civic Center.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Yes.
We got the Humble Civic Center Arena. So that's Sunday, April the 14th this year from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Like I said, it's very limited spots available. So if you're planning on going, go and sign up now. We're going to be out there. We're lucky enough they invite us out there. So we're going to do a live show out there and interview some of these pit masters and the people that put on this show for everybody.
That's right.
So just honored, and it's going to be a fun time.
If you want to come hang out with us, get a VIP ticket because there's going to be a line.
We're going to have unlimited beers at our disposal. I'm just saying.
Yeah. No, we are going to have unlimited beers. We're all going to be bringing my cooler in.
Exactly.
So, and last but not least, looks like we have the Alvin VFW Barbecue Cook-Off Fundraiser, May 3rd and 4th at Briscoe Park, Alvin, Texas. Cook-off, dance, vendors, car show, raffles, silent auction. I think is, let's see, it's going to be Friday, May 3rd, 10 a.m. Barbecue teams check-in. Day one, cook-off judging begins. Live music at 7 p.m. Saturday, you've got car show open to the public, kids queue. Then you get all of the day two cooking and judging, whatever else. So I don't know all the categories. I'm assuming it's going to brisket, ribs, chicken.
Yeah, so looks like it's a CBA competition.
Yep, it's champions. Mm-hmm. So who knows? There could be a pork butt in this one. I don't know. It just depends on what party you pick of the champions you want to do. Each cook-off has their own little way of doing things, right? So.
And it's May 3rd, 4th. I mean, we just might have to slide out there to go check it out and maybe even compete.
I mean, why not, man?
Yeah.
I mean, it's close to our birthday.
Yeah.
You know what I want to do? I want to go win something by around close to my birthday.
Sorry, guys. We got to go out there and just beat everybody.
Just own it. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's coming up. May 3rd, May 4th, Briscoe Park, Alvin, Texas. Be there, be square. That's awesome. I need to get into the refreshment, James. I feel like
let's get it.
I feel like I've just got a little too clean.
Just getting parched.
I'm a little too clean right now, right?
Well, having to do all the talking,
yeah,
it's just like
it's too much.
Yeah, you can't just sit back and just enjoy the show.
Me. Yeah.
So I feel like we just have a conversation with John and Matt and Alex while we have this beer. I know they're all going to be prejudging when they listen to this episode. Like, God damn, boys, y'all did a good job.
Yeah, right. How did y'all have that much to talk about? It's just two of y'all.
Exactly.
Man, hey, cheers. Cheers to that.
There we go. So I guess we'll slide into the barbecue talk, right?
Let's go, man. Let's get into it. Yeah. And we talked about this already and alluded to kind of what we want to talk about and just how free you are, right? Mm-hmm. Being in the backyard, being able to do whatever you want, and executing at a really, really high level. I don't think backyard cooks get the credit they deserve, really what they bring to the market. Mm-hmm. And obviously, you know, as a person that's out buying and being a consumer, mm-hmm. It's tremendous. The backyard cook is what everybody's trying to reach. Every time I talk to a comp guy trying to do a class, they're not trying to talk to other comp guys. They're trying to talk to the backyard cook. They want to bring more people in from the backyard into competition, mm-hmm. and that's really the message, right? It's like, hey, we fell for this, and we want you to fall for this because we love it. We want you to love it, and we can help you get better. And that's why I think these classes are really good. But it doesn't diminish anything from the backyard cook. And I think the amount of food coming from that, and obviously that's what we are, right?
Yeah.
We're backyard guys, or front yard guys, because let's be honest,
that's
we
true.
like grilling in the front yard. It's just something about watching people pass by and waving at them while you have.
How can the neighbors tell we're barbecuing if we're not
in the front yard doing it? They can't. They don't know, right? They stop. Hey, you always get the one neighbor. Oh, what time's dinner served? You're like, yeah, neighbor, come on over.
That's the same guy where you're washing your car. He's like, oh, hey, mine's next.
Mine's next. Right? You're like, come on, Jerry, you sneaky little snake, you. No, you're exactly right. But I don't know, man. Like we talked about this earlier, and I don't know if you have, some of the barbecue fatties we've made. We go down the whole list of foods a backyard guy gets into, and I hear this sometimes. It's like, well, I don't want to cook a brisket just yet. I haven't mastered this over here, and I want to be able to work on this. And so I'm doing steaks right now, or I'm really working on my pork chop game. You're like, dang, dude, this is good and all, but I don't know.
Well, let's get into talking a little bit about the brisket side of it, and maybe just run through what maybe you look at when you go to the grocery store, because backyard versus comp, man, it's kind of twofold as far as like what your budget is. You know what I mean? Sometimes you don't have prime money to spend on a brisket. You know what I mean? You have to make do with what's available, what you can afford, and a lot of times just buying a choice brisket is the way to go. I mean, I know that's kind of what we grew up with.
And maybe the only thing available to you.
Correct.
Like, you go there and you're like, well, I can't find prime. I don't, if you're not in Texas, I don't think the meat selection is the same across the United States. I think everybody can find good meats. Everybody's got a spot they can go to find good meats. But even then, I think you're limited to where you're at. You can order it in, or you can go locally, which we try to go locally for almost everything. But I think, I think you hit the nail on the head right there. It's the first thing people look at is I think price for the backyard guy dictates everything. I mean, nobody says, well, I'm the backyard guy, but I'm going to go spend $150 on this freaking Wagyu brisket, or $175 or over $200.
Well, hell, even the ATB Prime brisket that I bought the other day, I mean, shit, that was $116. I was like,
what's going on?
Holy crap.
Yeah, nobody can afford it. You cut it in half next time?
Right.
I'll take $80 of it.
Yeah. You're getting to the point where it's like, okay, now I can only do a brisket on maybe a special occasion. You know what I mean? Like every maybe month, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to justify, especially if you're trying to learn it and you're trying to really just excel and do it the best. And I know that's probably a big reservation for people. It's like, I don't want to fuck up $100 piece of meat.
That's why people have a hard time with the brisket.
And then I'm going to get yelled at.
Yep.
I'm missing on rent.
My wife's going to leave me.
Exactly. Like the check didn't come in like else it was supposed to. Really, this meat was supposed to wow you to forget about how much money I paid.
Yeah,
So,
no, you're exactly right. I think that's obviously a deterrent for people, is how much it costs, and then the grade, right? You want to get the best grade for what your budget is, and I think that's what you have to look at. Don't try to copy somebody else and like, well, I can only cook prime. Yeah. Well, I can only cook Wagyu.
Right. I think if you excel at cooking choice, select, if that's what's available, if you excel at doing that, then moving up to prime, it just makes it a little bit more juicier. It's got a little more fat content. But you mastered doing this. You mastered the hardest thing first. Cooking a prime brisket and a Wagyu brisket, that's easy.
It's easier than cooking a select.
Easier. Correct.
Right? It's more forgiving.
Less
It's more
forgiving.
It's more forgiving. You're right. But that's something else. A select brisket's going to be tender. A select brisket, when I cut it, I should be able to break it right apart, have a little pull to it, break it right apart, put it in my mouth, eat it. It's just, the only difference you're talking about is how much fat it has.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Just the marbling.
What do you look for? What do you look for, and what do you stay away from when you see something when you're trying to pick out brisket?
So I look for one is I look at price first, right? And I figure out, okay, where's my price point? Where do I want to be at? And then I start.
Do you have a size range that you look for?
I like the 13 to 15 pound briskets in that range right there. I don't mind going bigger or whatever else, but typically I think every time you go to like an 18 pound brisket, there's just so much fat on there that I've got to remove that it's just not, sometimes not.
You're just wasting.
I'm getting down to a 13 pound brisket anyways.
You're not making beef tallow out of all that
Yeah, I'm
fat?
not making beef tallow.
Break it down until you can make body waxes and candles
I'm not
and
doing
shit.
any candles or body waxes with it. No bee's knees. No, I'm not doing any of that. I'm like literally, I'm a freaking backyard cook. I don't have time, right? I want to get this thing. I want to make the best I can make it. But when I'm looking at the flat, one thing that I look at is I look how thin it is or how thick it is, right? And I want that to be even going across as much as possible. And so, when you go, you can see this right off the bat, right? You look at it and you'll see, like, you'll have this where the grain comes in. That part will be probably a little, I don't know, maybe it's different on both sides. But anyways, you'll have one side's going to be thicker and on that flat, right? And then you go to the very end of it, or the opposite end of it, and it's thin.
Yeah,
and when it gets paper thin, like you're losing that. That stuff will not be. It'll be dry. It will not hold any moisture, and you're gonna have to cut it out anyways, right?
Correct.
So I try to get that section to look as uniform as possible, as thick as I can get it.
Yeah, and you can tell when you look.
Yeah.
You look for one like that brisket flat is kind of squared up, and it's just even kind of all across.
Yep.
It might be kind of folded up a little bit on one end, kind of stuffed in where it kind of hides a little bit, but you could definitely see. You got that one where it's like thick on one end, and it's like paper on the.
Yeah.
Just put it down. Just
To walk away from that one.
You don't need that one.
Yeah, and if you're going to cut it down, you're going to cut it. Now, what the pro move from that is go about 4 inches, cut it back right there, and it'll be thicker, and then square it off, and then round it off on that corner.
Correct.
But even then, you're going to lose about a pound and a half, 2 pounds of meat, right? So I'd rather not even go down that
That's
road.
like $10.
Yeah, unless you're going to grind it and make something else out of it. So I'd rather not do that, and rather find the one that I like. 13 to 15 pounds is a great range. With a little trimming, you're down to anywhere between 11 to 13 pounds, and those cook so good. I mean, I like the way they look. I like the way the color they get.
Yeah. You can probably get them down in about 8 hours, right? Like, give or take.
8 to 10 at 300 degrees, 8 to 10, or 275, right? If you're cooking lower, maybe a little bit longer. And like this last weekend where we put together this brisket, I went out there 6 hours into the cook expecting to wrap, expecting that temperature to be around 180, 185, and I was at 200 and 198 in the brisket.
Through.
Right? It put in which I'm saying that's the mark that I like. I want to push through the stall completely when it's unwrapped. I don't want to do that on the wrap side of things. I think the color comes out better. I think you have it wrapped a less amount of time, which doesn't wash out your bark so much. And you're free to use at that point tinfoil or butcher paper. It doesn't matter because the bark's going to be the same. I don't think you're going to lose anything on it. But I will say this, in my opinion, especially if you're cooking on a heat source that comes from the bottom, a drum or a
pellet
smoker. I think, which we talked about this on Sunday, and we did it. It had set out there, and I had pretty good color on top. And I came back and we're having a beer and we're talking bullshitting. And I go, I got to flip that brisket. And you're like, I said, what do you think? And you go, yeah, flip it. And because I would have not done it. Right. Also, I was like, I don't want to fuck it up, And I was like, I just don't. And you're like, yeah, just fucking do it, man, do it. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I thought about it. I wanted to do it already. I didn't want to get talked out of it. I flipped the brisket because we started this brisket off fat side down, right?
Right.
So really good color on the side up that we had, not fat side up because fat side was down, but meat side up. We had really good color on it, and the bark had started to set, and then flipped, and it gave it that fat enough time, probably another 3 hours, to really gain a lot of color and to really help kind of break down, render down, right? Yeah. And it looked freaking phenomenal.
Yeah,
it really did, and we ended up doing yours too. And I don't know if that's something we want to look at in the future. Is going, hey, halfway through your smoke time, flip that brisket. Start at fat side down, then go to fat side up, and you can do fat side down or fat side up. You can do fat side up on a pellet and be fine probably, or anything else. I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying at the temperatures we were running at, we ran hot. We ran at 300 plus degrees at most of the times, and that has a way of really drying out your meat sometimes or cooking it really fast.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I've opted to go the route I did. So that in my opinion was a really helpful thing. And then the other one was, and I'll even throw it out there, man. It was about a half a cup of the beef.
I think we did beef stock.
Beef stock,
correct.
And then a little juice, right?
Right, a little pickle juice.
Yeah, little pickle juice. And I think nobody even thinks about putting pickle juice in a wrap. And I think it does something. And we've been doing this. This has been our secret method we've talked about for a long time. We've sprayed our briskets with pickle juice, and we always add a little extra to our wrap when we go to, we're going to wrap. But probably about a quarter cup of the pickle juice and maybe about a quarter to half a cup of the beef au jus was our wrap that we had. Dude, people ranted and raved of these briskets. It was so good. Amy took it to work. It sliced like butter. It was back on the pit for about an hour, not even then, and then basically just let it rest. This thing rested all the way until the next morning. It was 116 degrees the next morning. That's where the brisket was.
Okay.
And so she took it right into work at 7 a.m., put it into she didn't mess with she said about 10 a.m., 9:30, she put it in the warmer at work. They have a warmer at work, so a food warmer. Put it up to like 275 or something and left it in there until lunchtime. It was warm, it was tender, and got mad rave reviews over it.
That's badass.
Yeah.
I love
so and we went with a new rub that we've been testing, and can't go into the specifics of what the rub is, but it was definitely a barky rub. It's got some kosher salt. It's got some thick or some coarse black pepper. Also, it's got a bunch of other seasonings in there to make it up. But dude, it's money. It hit. It was really good.
Like it.
Yeah. So we gotta do some more with that one. I don't know. Just to say.
So somebody cooking in the backyard. Somebody's maybe somebody just new to cooking in the backyard. What about just a beginner timetable of the cook time? You know what I mean? Not getting into the
Not getting
more
into temperatures.
advanced type stuff with the wrapping with the paper and I'm going to say the stuff that you see these experts do with soaking it in beef tallow and just doing all this stuff that you're just like, okay, so somebody just like I got a brisket. It's 10 to 12 pounds. I seasoned it up good. I got either my pellet smoker or I got a little offset or a drum that I'm fixing to throw it on big green egg. What style cooker you have?
Yeah.
Where do you go from there? What temperature do you really want to dial it into? How long do you really want to kind of cook it and then wrap and let go? Is there a beginner type? Let's focus on this right here. Once you get that down, then you can tweak it to your personal preference as far as like, I want more bark. Like it seemed like the bark wasn't there enough. Then okay, where would you go from there?
Okay, so I would look at what does my timetable look like? Because I think that dictates a lot, especially being a backyard cook. It matters, especially if you do it on a Sunday. You don't have all day and all night. You got to work the next day or on a Saturday. You want to wake up at 4 a.m. and put it on. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you do. So I look at the timetables of how long I want to cook for, and I adjust. But a good rule of thumb, I think, on a 12 to 14 pound brisket. If you're new to it and you've never done one or anything else, right? This is brand new. I would say look at a temperature range from 275 to 300 degrees, and I would probably go hot and fast on it, right? You're not going to ruin it. You're going to get a tender piece of meat. You may not have the bark you really want. It depends on how long you smoke and go through the stall before wrapping, right? So you could do a 4-and-4 method, right? It's safe, it's easy. You're probably not going to have the bark you want, but you're going to have a tender brisket. 4 hours smoke, a 4 hours wrap. A 4 hours wrap's a long time at 300 degrees. It's enough time to tender anything up. And then you have your rest time, right?
Right.
Add the rest time in a couple of hours. So you got a 10-hour day, and you vent it, you rest it 2 hours, it cools down. You've got a really good brisket. I think that is in my opinion, that is a fail-safe method at 300 degrees, right? You can make that brisket done, tender, juicy, everything you need in that amount of time. But if you want the bark, I think you still run your same degrees, and you push past the stall.
Right.
Take it to 185. Use a thermometer. Take it to 185 or 190.
We got a lot of people that's how they teach people. Like, okay, you need to smoke it until you reach 160 degrees.
Yeah.
And that's when you wrap.
Yep.
And we even said that in the very beginning. Oh yeah, once we hit about 160-ish, we're gonna wrap. I think we found when we were probing our briskets around the 4-hour mark, we were hitting around 160, 165. So we're just like, oh, okay, that's kind of where we need to go.
Yep.
But yeah, sometimes it could be too soon. Sometimes you were just in the beginning stages of that stall, and it can stay in that stall for hours.
That's right.
Before it pushes through, and then it starts ultimately the meat starts breaking down and starts becoming tender. As you mentioned before, yeah, if you wrap it too soon and you have a lot of seasoning on it, it can, and it's not set perfectly.
That's right.
It can become mushy.
It'll be washed.
It's not gonna taste bad. It's going to taste good, but some of the seasoning will kind of wash and won't stick on.
Yeah, it will. It will. And it's how careful you are too, right? Because you let it rest for a long time, that bark's going to set up. It's still cooking in there. People forget about that. When you pull it off the heat, the thing was 205 degrees or 208 degrees. That thing's still cooking. It doesn't stop cooking. Like a steak, you pull a steak and it carries over 5 degrees because it's still cooking, and you cook that thing to 140 degrees. Okay, so this big piece of meat, this 12-pound hunk of meat is at 205 degrees. It's going to cook for another hour, another 2 hours in there, depending on how long you vent, right?
Yeah.
And the whole time it's coming down, it's still cooking. At 190, it's still cooking. At 180, it's still cooking. So I think that's when that bark can set. And I've seen briskets like I pulled the foil back or pulled the paper back and like, oh shit, man, it doesn't look, not with paper so much, but foil allows it to steam, where like, the bark hasn't really set right now. But even then, just letting it cool off, the bark will start to set. 'Cause that brisket's still hot, and you're going to see that color change. And you just keep washing it. Just keep adding the au jus to the top, and it cascade down, and whatever else. But yeah, I think that's, in my opinion, I think that's the key right there. Is if you want a fail safe, go 4 hours, and then go 4 hours wrapped up. Put it in your oven if you don't want to smoke it, whatever anymore. Not getting more smoke anyways. It's already wrapped, and see how it tastes. And then from there, start playing with it. But you want the bark, in my opinion. And if I were to tell somebody this today, first of all, go get yourself a thermometer. Then take that brisket to 185, 190. Then pull it, wrap it, add your au jus. Yeah. And then you can at that point you can take the temperature, you can roll it down to a lower degree and let it finish out at like 225, which is not a bad method. And I don't think a lot of people talk about that. Is you can run it hot, and then you can dial it right back down on a Traeger. You could do that. Offset may be a little more difficult. You might be locked in for a little bit for how that temperature is going to be. Yeah. But even then, I like to go through the stall. 185, 190. I know I'm through the stall, and I've got great color. So,
yeah, if you use, and the key is sometimes like you got to use coarse seasonings. That's going to develop the most like that look that you're looking for.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's like there's not just this great combination of rubs that you can put together that. If it's all kind of fine seasoning, it's going to create this just like non-textured type bark on the outside. You know what I mean? You won't get that like that shock, and that it's really that pepper and that kosher salt that really just creates that surface area that creates that bark-like texture that we always see. Aaron Franklin's and these badass pitmasters, and you see their briskets unwrapping with the butcher paper, and they're dropping all that juice all over it. Whatever, that's what you're like. That's what I want.
Yeah.
And so, but you have to use coarse seasonings to obtain that. I mean,
yeah, you do. I mean, I think you can cook a brisket fat side up, and I think you just no seasoning at all, right? It'll get dark. It'll develop a bark, but it's not going to taste. It'll taste just like meat. It'll taste just whatever. The seasoning is what helps, and then the pepper. Obviously, when you're going to slice, if you ever watch a really close up angle of a really perfectly cooked brisket that's got that money bark, you know what I'm talking about. They go to slice, and as they're slicing, you see the side of the brisket. One slice falls over, and you'll see the side of the brisket, and you'll see the juice coming down. But in that juice, you'll see the pepper. Like you'll see the bits and grains of the pepper falling down as well, and you're just like
flowing down.
Yeah, dude. You know what I mean? It's going in your au jus. It's on the front of the brisket. It just looks so freaking good. That's you want that flakiness. That I don't know. That's the part I'm like. It just looks really good. I'm looking for that. I want that. I want that that look. I think it helps. It helps to taste it better. Just because you eat with your eyes.
Right.
But yeah, I think
so. And I'm pretty sure we can talk about this for like 2 hours straight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then maybe this will be another part on next episode or a future episode where we kind of like go more in depth into doing this, because I mean, you literally can talk about this all day long. And I know we're probably a little pressed against the time, but let's talk about finishing temperature.
Yep.
What are we reaching for? Like 203? I mean, it really, there's a lot of information out there as far as like when to pull, how hot to cook it. And I know there's science behind whether you do low and slow and then hot and fast as far as what your finishing temp is going to be. And then all the experts, all the armchair
People like
pitmasters
us.
say, oh, well, okay, you're really just looking for pro tender. You want to put that probe in there, and you just want it to be like butter. You know what I mean? You're just like, oh, okay, well, I understand that. And they're like, okay, go get you a warm butter. Warm up that butter, just room temperature, and then just practice sticking a toothpick in there. That's where you need to be at right there. You're like, okay, thank you. I appreciate your scientific knowledge, but that doesn't help me out. Sometimes I need like maybe just a little bit of a guidance as far as whatever. But we always learn that if you do low and slow, 225 degrees. I know some of these pitmasters cook that low and slow.
They do.
For 16 hours, and then they wrap at the very end, and it goes in a warmer for X amount of time. From what I hear, the finishing tip is way lower.
It is
190, 193 is like when they're pulling these briskets off.
Yep.
Versus if you cook it at hot and fast, 275 to 300, 300 plus, you're having to take that finishing temp higher to like 205, 208.
Yep.
You get into competitions and you got to take that almost to 212.
Yeah, I don't like that.
210.
The way it looks.
Correct. And there's things to be said about how long a piece of meat is in the actual stall, how it affects the overall tenderness and the overall finish temperature.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I've been playing around with that. I haven't really kind of perfected it yet, but I've been playing around with like, okay, you kind of start off hot and fast, like 250, 275, about 4 or 5 hours, 6 hours to get that color. And then once you get that color, drop it down to 225. And by this time it's already wrapped. And so I'm like, I'm going in the oven, or I got the pellet smoker. I'll throw it on the pellet smoker to finish it off, but I'll put it at 225 to drop it down. Now it's going to take longer to cook, and it's going to stay in that stall longer.
Yep.
And they say, and there's science behind it. I don't know what it is.
It's science.
Yeah.
We can't explain it.
I don't know what a
Nobody
pitmaster
can.
scientist is called, but they say it.
Yeah.
That the longer that the piece of meat is in the stall, the more tender it's going to be.
But sometimes tender is just tender. I want juicy.
Correct.
I want to retain the au jus, right? So picking a good brisket does that. But and I think you're probably saying the same thing when you say that. So I probably shouldn't have said what I just said. But yeah, tender is great. But I think we're gonna have a tender brisket no matter what. But how well it's broke down, maybe. But yeah, it's like Goldie's method, right?
Right.
Like they go to 190, and then they pull, goes into a warmer at 165, and it stays there for 12 hours. Like that's their method. Well, guess what? You're doing the same thing if you were to go drop down to 225 for 3 hours,
Right.
4 hours, and then pull it, whatever else. These are timetables that they're playing with, but that works for their restaurant, and they're producing a high quality brisket. I will say your brisket game has gone up tremendously.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's night and day. Like you, over the last year and a half, now in competition, you stink. You're the
Sucks.
worst. You're
Terrible.
the worst person making decisions. I don't know what's going on in your head.
You take a couple of barbecue classes,
Yeah.
and you feel like you got it down. And
Don't.
you're like, I don't. I actually lost it.
You lost it.
I thought I picked it up, but I put it down somewhere.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, don't do that. We gotta stay away from that shit.
Right.
But no, I think your game has gone up tremendously, and the briskets, dude. Some of the briskets we've been pulling off and slicing, it's been like, dude, like where the hell has this thing been my entire life? It's night and day, the difference. So I highly recommend that way. And if you're listening at home, prove us wrong. If you think you got a better method, tell us about it. But tell us that you tried this. Hey, I cooked a brisket. I took it to 185, 190, and then I wrapped it up, and I finished it out at 20, or I put it in a warmer at that point and just left it in a warmer at 160, or I finished it 205, and it took me whatever. I mean, try one of the methods we talked about. Give us some feedback. The hot and fast, the 4 and 4 method.
It's tried and true. It's never let me down. Will it be a little too tender? Yeah, maybe it will.
Wrapped in tinfoil for sure.
Wrapped in tinfoil for sure.
It might get a little roasty.
It can be.
Yeah.
But my goodness, dude, you're going to slice it and it's going to pull apart. And it's, especially if you're struggling to get that tenderness,
Yeah. If your brisket always tough to cut, you're like, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, try this. 300 degrees, 4 hours. Wrap it for 300 degrees for another 4 hours.
Yeah.
And in tinfoil, make sure the tinfoil's tight sealed. And yeah, you're gonna have a money freaking brisket, and it's gonna be tender. And you're gonna be able to you're gonna be able to taste the seasonings. Make sure you put enough seasoning. That's something else a lot of people don't talk about.
We didn't talk about that.
Is seasonings. We'll talk about this next week or next time, but put enough seasonings on it. Like you should be able to cake the seasonings on.
Correct.
And
don't put a shit ton of just
garlic. Nobody wants garlic.
Seasoned seasoning. And when I say that, it's stuff that doesn't have salt in it. If it's just a rub that's packed with like brown sugar and paprika, it's not going to be good.
No, I know. It's not going to be good. And the other thing is, so salt content, but don't be afraid to use the salt. You're going to need it. It's a big piece of meat. It needs all the salt it can get sometimes.
It's going to sweat. It's going to sweat a lot of that stuff off.
Yeah.
Use different seasoned salts,
Play with it.
Yeah. Tony's, that's a great seasoning.
Lowry's.
McCormick's has a seasonal. I mean, everything.
What's our butt rub?
The butt rub. Byron's butt rub. Yeah.
You think it's a sweet? It's not.
No
it's
sugar in
it's a savory rub. It's an all-purpose AP rub, very similar to what you'd see on a Lowry's seasonal or something else, right? It's got a little kick to it, maybe a little Tony's. Slap your mama somewhere. It's not Cajun rub, but it's really good.
Yeah. Highly recommend it.
Yeah, I do too.
Man, let's just jump out of that.
Yeah.
Let's jump into the grabbing the brisket.
Beer review. Hell yeah, man. Dude, got Coors Light kicking? Let's go.
Cheers.
Dude, we're at 61 minutes. We're flying, James. We're flying.
All right, we'll tear through this, and then we got the barbecue win and fail coming up on deck. Man, life's great.
Smoking meats isn't just cooking, it's an art form. The aroma, those deep flavors, the patience, it's a whole experience.
And behind every great artist, there's the right set of tools. If you're aiming to build your own barbecue pit or dreaming of a custom design tailored just for you, SmokerBuilder.com has your back.
Led by Frank Cox, their expertise is unmatched. Offering blueprints, kits, and insights, they turn every barbecue dream into a flavorful reality.
Imagine your backyard, the center of attention, and at the heart of it, a smoker that's uniquely yours.
It's more than just equipment. It's about crafting those unforgettable moments. And with the guidance of Frank and his team, you're setting the stage for magic.
So whether you're a seasoned pit master or taking your first steps into the smoky world,
head over to SmokerBuilder.com, fill up your carts, and be sure to use the promo code GRABTHEBRISKET in all caps to receive your 10% discount. Smoke on.
Hey, so what do we got real quick? What are we pulling?
All right, so it's going to be right there on your right side.
threw down some ribs last night, used the Chicks That Smoke spicy rub, mind blown.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like the Chicks That Smoke spicy barbecue all-purpose rub, dude, it is a game changer for sure.
Yeah, if you folks have not given it a shot, you need to.
Honestly, your barbecue will thank you.
Chicks That Smoke, it's at SUCKLEBUSTERS.com.
Whether it's a casual backyard grilling session or high-pressure world barbecue competition, one thing's certain. The drink by your side needs to be ice cold.
Absolutely, and that's where Yeti coolers come in. Every time I'm grilling in my backyard, I trust Yeti to keep things cold.
And in the midst of barbecue competitions, with all that heat and intensity, Yeti's a game changer, ensuring those drinks stay chilled.
So whether you're perfecting the burger flip or aiming for barbecue gold, Yeti's got your back. Here's to cooler moments, no matter where you grill.
Cheers.
We interrupt this program to bring you a news flash.
Michael Jackson's ghost seen at a Yankees game.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch, now with a shrimp in every bite.
Lil Uzi Vert's head diamond has been sold on the dark web.
Stories like this and more can be found at the Evertrending Story, a podcast where we peruse the news and write a fun fictional story for you.
Find us wherever you download podcasts and follow us on the socials at Evertrending Pod, and we are proud members of the Oddpods Media Network.
It's in a sixer. Just grab a couple of those, and it's a tried and true. This is the Saloon Brewing Company. This is something that we're quite familiar with. They're right down the street from us. They opened the West Campus, West Brewery. So So we're always a fan of Saloon Door. This is probably one of the first couple of beers that we reviewed on this podcast. What was it called?
The Brewers.
Yeah.
One of the first Brewers we reviewed.
Correct. Yeah. What was it?
The Ridiculous AF?
That is it right there.
The Ridiculous AF, yeah. The Tasty AF is
Tasty
its
AF.
junior little brother. The Ridiculous is a peanut butter chocolate stout with, I don't know, it's like 13% or something. It's good. Today,
Guys, this is pretty cool. We'll put, I don't know if Raul, you got the camera featured over here if you want to talk about it a little bit
Yeah.
so they can see kind of the artwork on this can.
so this is the Crank Dat AC Texas Coast IPA. 6.5% alcohol by volume. Tastiest, what does that say? Tastiest draw in the West. Jesus. It's got some hops to it though, right?
Yeah.
It smells good.
Picking a lot of pine cone and
Yeah. A lot of marijuana in there. That's what it smells like. Very hoppy. Very hopstis. Hopstis got me, man. Yeah. Jeez, does smell good. I like the. This is true. This is Texas, man. It's got the thermometer on the side. It's got the mug of beer. Obviously, the temperature's high. Yeah, this is cool.
yeah, kind of skimped on the can. You know what I mean? Looks like it's a little wrap, but it doesn't bother me. I'm good with that.
No, it's fine. Yeah, I used to talk mad shit about it, but we're in a recession, man. We got to do what we got to do out here. We can't talk about wrap cans, and it's how it's easier to do that versus print.
Dude, yeah.
Fixing
to have to fend off like hordes of monkeys. So,
dude,
wrapped cans is our least of our worries.
Did you see about the freaking cicadas? Yeah. Okay. So apparently there is these hordes of cicadas, which if you don't know what these little bastards look like, they look devilish, man. They're about 3 inches long, these huge wings. They make that noise in the trees. We're like, I can't even do it.
Yeah,
dude.
don't even try.
Not even try.
No,
it,
actually, I want to hear you try to.
Nah, I
try
can't
to
do
do an impression of a cicada.
Oh, dude, I can't do it right now.
You have to.
Yeah. I don't know how to do it. It's just fucking relentless is what it is. It doesn't shut up. It keeps going and going. You're like, shut the fuck up.
And it's like nighttime, they quit.
Yeah, because they're sleeping. I'm awake. All day long, they just scream at each other. So they can listen. So they can screw each other and die. Okay. So this is what they do. They're just there to mate and die. They come out of the ground.
Yeah.
So they
come out of the ground like little worms, right?
Yeah.
Like little grub worms.
Yeah, kind of. Not grub worms, but yes. They come out of the ground. But, but check this out. Every 13 years and every 17 years, they have these great hordes that come up out of the ground, right? Well, guess what this year is? Both hordes are coming out at the same time. It's the first time this has happened like over 200 years, right? This is about to get real. You're going to have these swarms. It's not going to be like living in your tree going, oh, happy go Sunday to love the cicadas outside.
Yeah.
This shit's going to be fighting you in your mouth. They're going to be hitting when you're driving your car. They're going to be everywhere, right? So it's going to affect like 10 states. Texas, it went to Louisiana and stopped. And I don't know what's going on because I feel like we have them here. And I don't know why they're not saying us. But everywhere to the right of us, is going to get them. Going all the way up to like South Carolina and like Louisiana and Arkansas, that whole area is getting them. Texas, we're not getting anything. I'm like, lies. I don't know why you didn't put us on that.
You know, the government studied these things, and we might have talked about this before, but the government studied trying to figure out how they make that noise because the sheer decimal volume that these little insects create is just mind-boggling. Yeah, like we're talking like compared to like I think like talk about like going to a stadium and you hear like the big roar of the crowd or whatever. They're producing like to 100 to 112, 120 decimals on that little decimal chart. Whoever created that chart, they don't understand how this bug can make that. And ultimately they're trying to weaponize that.
Yeah, the military, man. Fucking motherfucker.
They're probably going to use it down in the like Guantanamo Bay to, you know what I mean? Instead of just playing like Britney Spears or whatever it is, they're just cranking up these chichadas and
You're getting cicaded. Yeah, you're getting cicaded.
Chichadas.
Yeah.
That's what. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. Hey, answer the questions.
20 minutes of
Or
that.
more cicada.
Yeah, you're
Like,
scratching
no.
your brains out.
Yeah. I'm tell you what, man. It is a little. I think we talked about that or whatever else. Let's get back to this beer real quick. Crank Dat AC. DAT.
Only 90-second beer review.
Crank that.
No.
Yeah, it is a 90-second beer review. Let's bring that back.
go.
Yeah. So, what do you think about this beer, man?
Honestly, I'm enjoying it. It's got a lot of flavor.
Great. It's got a little like a nastiness on it, though, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think they just call it IPA.
Yeah, that's right. That's grapefruit. You're like, oh, is it though? No, it does have a really great flavor to it. It's balanced. I was just kidding around. There's no off-putting flavor to this or off-putting taste to this. I think that you just get used to the hoppiness and whatever. It's not even that hoppy. There's really no afterbite to this.
It doesn't linger a lot.
It finishes very clean. This is a really good beer from Saloon Door. I can't wait for the other guys to try this. I think I like this beer better had they given like a slogan or something on it. Yeah, I don't know why. Like I just needed more.
Crank that AC. Is it? Did they just? They probably could have come up with a better job, right? You know what I mean?
Like could have been like here in South Houston, it gets hot, and when it, they could have gave something, right?
Right.
Like, but they gave nothing. There's no backstory.
It's like a damn plumbing commercial or HVAC
Yeah.
logo. Looks like, hey, yeah, you got Johnny the thermometer here.
He's like, fool, ooh, drink it. I don't know. I need more. I need some verbiage there. I don't want you to get whimsical. I don't want a riddle. I don't want you to give me a poem or anything like that. I just want. I need a story, right? And you didn't give me that, but the beer is really, really good.
It is good. Yeah.
So I'm ready to score. You ready to score?
Let's go for it.
Okay. Give me one more drink. That's an 8-8.
That's a good score. Yeah.
It is a good score.
Yeah. I'm not going to do what you guys think.
Yeah.
What
Not
you
going to
guys
do what
think
you guys
I'm going to
think.
do.
Yeah. Little Jerry Maguire going on right now.
Man, I'm gonna go probably like a 8.5.
It's a good score.
Yeah, it's a really good beer. Like it's there's some IPAs that'll stay with you.
Yeah.
This is very just clean, and I can see why they're kind of mimicking like, okay, this is something for a hot day.
Yeah.
It's very refreshing, very cold, easy to drink. I'm trying to think of like a comparable style of IPA. Nothing's really coming to mind, but there are a few out there
Like
that
a
are
lawnmower.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. Yeah,
Like St. Arnold's Lawnmower.
correct.
Right? Great beer.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great beer.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's beer when it's a hot day, you're out mowing the lawn. Grab one of those little bastards because it's refreshing. It feels good. It finishes clean. This does the same thing. I like this company.
Solid.
They do a good job.
And that concludes Grabbing the Brisket
There it is.
beer review.
Beer review. Beer review. Beer review. No, I'm just kidding. Here, cheers.
Cheers to you, man.
But yeah.
Yeah, this has been a fun episode brought to you by Jan and James
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
and Roll.
And roll.
Hey, who needs the other guys, man?
Well, I don't know, man. It's a cleaner look. I'll tell you that. A lot cleaner look. We could be sitting in the chairs.
Less cameras.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I love it. We're on time. I mean, I don't know. We're getting out early. Jesus, John's really bringing us down. No, I'm just kidding. He's actually chomping at the bit every week. Pick me up. It's 6 o'clock. Let's get to the studio. And we're always the late ones. So
Right.
at least we'll tell the truth.
Don't you said I wrong. You said we are always late. That's you.
No, I think we're always late. I don't think we should point fingers. You know what I mean? Like,
Jan's like, I'm always ready to go. I just don't have a ride.
yeah,
Like,
I can't drink and
I'll wait
drive.
for you guys to pick me up.
You're right. You're right.
Hey,
My apologies.
hey, James picked me up at the bar last week. I was just doing a little pre-gaming. I hadn't been there very long. A couple of beers. Yeah. So what do we have? We've got to go our barbecue win, barbecue fail.
Barbecue fail.
Let's go,
So
man.
I think we've been missing the barbecue win, barbecue fail for the last couple of weeks, maybe 1 week or two, whatever. But we need your submissions. You got to send them in. We're still going to have the end of the year giveaway to where we're going to give away a lot of cool prizes and a lot of
thousands and millions of dollars are being given away on our show. Some would say trillions.
Right.
But there's definitely be thousands.
There might be some like Shibu Inu coins.
We don't know.
Available.
We're not
for
even
you guys. Yeah.
We're not even giving that.
Could be worth millions.
We're not doing that.
We're not doing that.
Yeah, we're not giving away coins, right?
Bitcoins.
But we are giving away.
We'll give you a fraction.
Yeah, no, we're not. We're giving away badass. No, we're not giving away Shibu Inus. All right. We're giving away some
Dogecoins.
Yeah, we did get it out on some Doge, man. When that shit was around a couple of years ago. But no, I'm saying, dude, we are giving away some badass prizes, thousands of dollars, right? It's not like it's like $100. Here's your a lighter. Here's your lighter to light your. No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about some cool swag. We did some grills already. We've done all the T-shirts, the swag in between, the charcoals. Yeah. It's every single thing. Last time was every single thing that you needed to get started day one to start cooking on anything, right?
Yeah,
including a barbecue pit. We're doing the same. I'm not saying we're doing the same thing, but it's going to be bigger and better this year.
Yeah.
So
and it's free to enter.
Just give us your barbecue freaking wins and your barbecue freaking fails. Yeah. That's all you got to do.
Sign over waiver. We own the rights to your story.
Yeah, right.
And we're going to use it in an upcoming motion picture. So
yeah, just of your life.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Here's you should watch that Black Mirror where the I don't know if it's Black Mirror or not, but like it was like this new show coming on, and it was about this girl sits down to watch it with her boyfriend, and she's like, oh, it's like her name is Jessica, or I'm just making up a name, I don't know. It's like Jessica, and she's watching it, and she's like, and then the character's name is Jessica, and it's talking about the same shit that happened to her like that week, and you're like, she's like, the fuck is going on? Yeah. And then her boyfriend's like talking to her, and he's saying the same shit to her that her boyfriend was saying to her, right? And she's now been dubbed in this, like she signed her life away, where she can be her lookalike, and her life can be a story that they deem that worthy. And you're like, no, you're gonna be on TV now. But it's not her. It's some other actress making money. Right. She's not making shit off of it. Right. You know what I mean? And it's like,
that's hilarious.
No, it's great, dude. Yeah. You gotta check it out. Okay, yeah, barbecue win, barbecue fail. Come on.
We had somebody submit a picture. This is coming from Dale Baker. Ain't no BS barbecue team.
Let's go, Dale.
He's like that. Hey, Dale guys, Baker. Here's my barbecue win. I love it. Coming in with the barbecue win. We love to see barbecue wins. We love to see success.
Booyah. What are those?
All right, so my buddy and teammate come up with this. This is caramel whiskey injected bacon wrapped Twinkies. He's very creative, and let me do that again.
Ooh,
he is very creative, but when he said it, I thought maybe he lost his mind. It's like state fair food. It says, thanks, Dale Baker. Ain't no BS barbecue team.
Dude. So it's a whiskey what?
So this is a caramel whiskey injected bacon wrapped Twinkies.
Yeah, sign me up.
Yeah, we got to try some of that.
It's one of the coolest things that somebody sent in to us.
Yeah.
So what kind of pit is that, real quick? It's a vertical, but is there charcoal underneath that right there? I'm assuming it is. I don't know.
Maybe down at the very below. It definitely looks like kind of like a vertical vault, unless there's like an offshoot on the side that you can't see.
Is it a vault? Does it see the square right there? Yeah, it's.
I don't think it's a vault.
No, it's not. I don't think so either. I don't know.
Yeah, look at us dissect your pit.
Yeah.
Let me look at it. Yeah. No, hey, it looks very clean. I like how, it looks like you do a good job seasoning and cleaning your pit. So that's pretty good. Man, we got to try some of that.
I know. Caramel infused whiskey injected Twinkies wrapped in bacon.
Is he going with the Crown caramel whiskey?
No, man. That's like Jack Daniels.
Oh, okay.
Right? It's a maker's mark.
What would you do? Fireball infused? No.
Yeah.
Cinnamon whiskey? No, I don't know why I'm going cinnamon.
I don't know either, man.
Yeah, I don't even like that shit.
Caramel's good.
Yeah.
Caramel or caramel?
Caramel.
Okay, that's weird. You say it like that, but it's on you.
I just said it because you said it.
You own it. No, I. You know what, guys? Hey, Dale,
Yes, sir.
Dale
Baker.
Dale Baker's a goddamn NASCAR driver. Dale Baker is running for Senate somewhere in the South Carolinians. Okay, Dale Baker owns a used car lot. Also, he's buying his first new car lot. You know what I mean? Dale Baker is here for your vote, dude. Dale Baker's a badass name.
It is.
That's all I'm saying.
Dale Baker's buddy is a baker and a genius baker.
Dale Baker for fucking president.
Let's
all
go.
right, who wants
Let's
Dale
go.
Baker in there? I need more Dale. Listen, yeah, Dale Baker's a fucking genius. We're definitely going to try these out. And listen, you sent the picture, Dale, of the first of the Twinkies getting wrapped or whatever. They're on the pit. Give me the finished product now. I want to see what these damn things look
we need
like.
an update.
Yeah, so send us the update. And are you doing like a caramel drizzle or doing something doing a drizzle on top? I don't know what you're doing, right? I got to see how this thing, is there an icing you're going back and forth with? I don't know. I think the savory works with the bacon. And yeah, I think this is a genius idea. We've seen the snowballs. We've done a snowball. We did a honey bun in the past, a bacon wrapped honey bun, which I thought was really good. The bacon wrapped snowball was actually really good. The coconut, the bacon, the chocolate, everything just worked. So this right here is money, and we're gonna try it. So yeah, boom.
And
Dale.
what'd you win?
Hey, guess what, man? Suckabusters. Everybody wants some Suckabusters. Come on, Dale. Hey, that's right, man. You just won yourself some seasonings. Feel free to peruse Suckabusters online. Pick out your seasonings. Send us a message saying, I want this one, and we'll make it happen for you. We'll have this sent out to you. The guys at Suckabusters, obviously we've teamed up with, and they are not afraid to send seasonings out. And yeah, congratulations, man. Thanks for sharing the barbecue win. We enjoyed it. We enjoyed it.
The journey of the Jan and James show,
There it is.
the brisket, has finally come to an end.
Maybe the best show we've ever done.
I mean, I think there are awards.
Yeah, I mean, Kale, can you like the dynamic duo? Can you talk about the dynamic duo on your next maybe?
What are
I don't
the
know.
Academy Award equivalent to podcasts? Right?
Yeah.
I don't
Do we
know.
enter this episode?
We do 100%.
I think so. It's not. We're a trio. We're not a duo. We're a dynamic trio.
Exactly.
Thank you, Raul. Thank you for bringing the heat, man. Hell yeah. No, man. Appreciate it. Cheers. Love you.
Till next episode, we
there it is.
appreciate it.
Boom.
As always, it's been great talking barbecue.
Yeah. Later.
As we close out, big thanks to SmokerBuilder.com and the MBBQA for their unwavering support.
Absolutely. And cheers to Barbecue News Magazine, Suckklebusters, and Dow Strong Knives for their contributions.
And you know Yeti always has our back, and Coolie Nation ensures our drinks stay perfectly cold.
Lastly, props to Cambro Manufacturing and, of course, the Spicy Nut, the Chicks at Smoke Seasoning. Thanks to all for powering this show.
Until next time, keep smoking.